This conference will now be recorded.
Any of you done with this? Any of you? So are you doing practice or not? See, when I start covering other details, when I start the project and will not have time to think about or explain the things, how to bring the box and how to bring the UI input buttons. So we don't spend, okay, we do not have time to discuss all those. That's the reason we spend more time now to understand, okay, each and every element of your uh, example, whatever I'm covering, okay. So I keep repeating. So it's your, then you should not, you know, say to me, complain like you couldn't understand. Right, I told you I will start LDS. LDS I will take in detail later. Okay, and now we are going to see how to call controller method from Apex. Sorry, from your JavaScript. So this is my HTML page. Okay, this is my in single page application. Single page application, nothing but your Lightning framework, right? Single page application. I have a server here, Apex. So this is my database. This is my Apex. HTML, and we have JavaScript, JS, isn't it? And we have JS controller here. So that's what we called as client-side controller. So this we call it as client-side controller. And I have Apex method here. When you go for Apex method, when you need a data from your database, right? When you need a data from the object, then you go for Apex. Either you insert a row, insert a data into the object, or you read the data. So in classic framework from Visual Force page, you can call the Apex method directly, right? But how it's going to happen now? From your HTML, you'll first call JS, and then from JS, they're going to call the Apex method. Got me? So again, the communication will go like this. From Apex, you will get the data back to JS, and from JS, you return the data to the HTML. Okay, so from the client-side controller, you will call your Apex method. Okay, so the whole thing we call them client, and this is your server. So you cannot make a server call directly from the HTML. So from HTML, either based on any event, it can be a browser event or standard event, right? Based on any event, you would call the JS controller, client-side controller, then you will call the Apex method. Okay, so there is a framework we need to follow. There is a framework steps to first. No, what are the steps we'll see in order to call the Apex method. Okay, so first thing, the first rule is any Apex method you are going to call. Any Apex method you are going to call. That Apex method should be a public method, public class, The class should be public, and whatever the method you are going to call, right? Suppose I'm going to call this method. Um, so this is a method I'm going to call. Okay, so this is a method I'm going to call. So what is the rule? The method, whatever the method from the Apex class you're going to call, that should be prefixed with annotation at Aura enabled annotation. So uh, this prefix will make the expose the Apex method. This prefix, this annotation will expose the Apex method to the Aura component. So which is your Aura component? Your Lightning client, right? Your Lightning client is nothing but your Aura component. Whatever we develop in Lightning is basically is Aura framework, open source framework of Salesforce. So any method you are going to expose, every Apex method you are going to expose as to your Aura component, Aura framework, Lightning framework, that needs to be prefixed with annotation called at Aura enabled annotation. And the method should also be a static method. So this is the first, right? This is the first, the criteria the Apex method should meet. Okay, so public class and public method, and the method should be a static method. The method should be a static method, and the method should be prefixed with at Aura enabled annotation. Are you clear with this, everyone? Okay, and method need not return a value. It can return a value, may or may not return value, and method may or may not have a parameter. So it can have any number of parameter, but the basic prerequisite is basically it should be Aura enabled, and that should be a static method. Okay, everyone is clear here, right? Everyone is clear here, isn't it? Okay, you can respond in chat window. Right. And what are the other rules, right? Apart from this, what are the other rules? So how to invoke a method from JS controller to Apex? How to invoke a method from JS controller to Apex? And how do you associate your Apex class? This is my Apex class name, right? How do you associate your Apex class with your component? It can be a component or application. So this is my component. Aura. Okay, so this is my component. So we are going to, how will you associate your Apex controller with your Visualforce page? How will you associate your Apex controller with your Visualforce page? How will you make that connection? This is a class can be, we'll have a method that can be called from that particular Visualforce page. Controller, right? So controller attribute will have. So here you have to go with controller attribute and Apex class name. Okay, so here it is class name. Got me? Here the Apex class name I given as class name. So this right, this is how you will associate. And if you have a namespace, then you have to go with that namespace. For example, I have a namespace SFDC meet, then you have to refer like this. Okay, but by default, if you do not have any namespace, then you don't need to prefix any namespace here. Everyone is clear? Everyone is clear here? How about Rahul, able to follow? Ganesh, Rahul, able to follow, right? Okay, right. So okay, I'll just get into the basic step what needs to be followed. in order to call the apex method. So this first step. Next to this, from here, based on some event, you are going to call the apex method, right? From here, based on some event. So suppose I have a lightning button here. We have different types of event, right? But I go with lightning button. So on click event. On click event, I am going to call. Which method I'm going to call? First, from the HTML. HTML is nothing but I mean like component, right? So from component, I'm going to call the JS method first. So how will you call the JS method? Suppose JS method name is call me. Then you know there should be a value provider c dot, isn't it? So you have to give c dot call me, and call me is a method there in the client side controller. So let's take an example here. Call me function, and we have a component. What next? Event and helper. Right. Okay. So this is my a JS controller method. I'm going to call from my Apex. Okay. So what is the first step? Step one. First, you have to get the reference of the Apex method. First, you have to get the reference of the Apex method. So we are going to get the reference. You can say reference, or you can say it's a call statement. Okay. Let me. I don't have space here, so yep. So first thing you have to call the method or take the reference. So get let's say call Apex method. So we are going to call the Apex method from your JS controller. Component dot get. Okay, component dot get, and within the codes we are going to call the Apex method. What is Apex method name? Get account. Okay, the Apex method name is get account, and any method you are going to call either from HTML or JS to your Apex should have value provider C. You got me? Should have value provider C. And you are going to, this is a call statement. It's a method call. Okay. And you have to take that reference into a variable. You know, in JavaScript, we declare a variable with keyword var. Okay. So I just give some variable here. I name that variable as action. So this is the first step. This is the first step we have to do. Call the Apex method. Everyone is clear here, right? Till here you are clear. So this will invoke the method and run the operation. This will invoke the method and run the operation asynchronously. Asynchronous means what? The method will run in the backend. Like when you submit the batch of X, what will happen? When you submit the batch of X will go to the queue and run, right? So when the method will run, whenever the resource is available, the method will run. It's not like an immediate synchronous process, asynchronous call. Anything you are called from JavaScript, that is going to be a asynchronous call. So your method will run asynchronously. Okay, then you need not wait for the method to return, right? You need not wait for the method, because asynchronous call, like when you call any external web service, then you are not going to wait for the response, right? You can perform any other business logic you can perform next to that. You need not wait for it. Okay, but I have something to perform with this data. I have something to perform with this data. Then what I am going to do here, I'm not going to wait for it, because it goes to the queue, right? It goes to the queue and run. When I call the method, it's asynchronous call. It goes to the queue and run. Then what is the next step? Once the method is completed, suppose the method, when I submitted using this statement, the method will run, right? It will keep run. It will running. And once it is run, it come back with this data. Then I'm going to perform something. Then I would like to define here what needs to be performed when the apex method operation is done. Okay, so this basically this part is called callback. This part is called callback. Okay, pay attention here. It's more important to understand how the callback is working for you. So what is callback? You listen here. I just take a a different example here. Suppose I send a person to buy something. I send a person to buy something, and the person go to the shop. It takes an hour time, and I have another person. Send him to deliver a product. So this takes again 4 hours time. Okay, but I have something to perform once the shopping is done, and I have something to perform assigned to this guy once the delivery is done. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare a callback function. So what is callback function? The callback function is basically once the task which I already submitted, and once that task is done, what needs to be performed, that I will define in a callback function. Got me? So I need not wait for it. I just define and I just define and move away to the next task. So what I will do in this case, I submit one method, I call one method, and again I call it another method. Then I would define in a callback function what needs to be performed once this the task which I invoked, which I performed, that done. Once the asynchronous process is done, then what you need to perform, that I will define in the callback function. So callback function is not your call statement. Call statement is over here. Okay, you submitted the method, but what needs to be performed whenever the apex operation is done, then I'm going to define here. I'm going to list out certain activities here. Okay, I'm going to list out an activity here. So maybe like prepare the food or something and serve it. So whatever. So we already defined the activities here. So that activities will be performed only when the apex operation is done. Only when the asynchronous operation is done. Are you able to follow this, everyone? You got an idea about what is callback function? How we are going to declare the callback function here? Whatever the reference you have taken, right? Action dot, okay, action dot set callback. You have to follow the same cases. You cannot mix up this. You cannot go with the caps. Okay, the same case what I given here, you should follow this. So this is my callback function call. Okay, so what needs to be performed, you are going to write inside this. Everyone is clear here, everyone? So this is not your call statement. Okay, call statement is done, but once this operation is done, what needs to be performed, that you are going to list out here. Okay, something like your example you have taken here, right? So once the shopping is done, what needs to be performed, that I will given here. I need not wait for synchronously the person to come back. Then I'm not going to give him instruction directly. So everything instruction is already prepared in my callback function. So it will be automatically executed once a server side operation is done. Everyone is clear here? So that's what you're going to define here. Okay. So callback function has two parameter. The callback function has a two parameter. One is current instance, we refer it as this, and another parameter is function itself. So this is where you are going to function, open and close bracket, right? And this function has an argument called any argument, any variable you can give. I make it as response. So what is the use of this? You will get all the details, whatever the value returned by the method, and what is the status of the call. Everything you can refer in this variable. Okay, you got it, what I'm trying to say here? So this is a call, and the call has two variable, this comma callback function. So these are callback function. Okay, and the function will have an argument response, and the response argument will have all the properties of the method, what is the status of the call and what's the value returned from the method, and many more details you will have in this variable in the callback function. So here you are going to say like what needs to be performed after the apex, once apex operation is done. Everyone is clear here? Okay, and so that we'll see later what we are going to have here in the notes. I will explain. There is one more important thing here you should know here. Okay, there is a third step. The third step is you have to enqueue the action. Enqueue action. Yeah, so these are all just 1 minute. Okay, so nothing but this statement, right? $a.enqueue. $a is a kind of utility function. You can say utility. Here you'll see functions like util function and different types of function. One of such function is enqueue function. Enqueue function belongs to this global utility $a. So you have to, using this statement, what you're going to do? You're going to enqueue the action. Okay. Step 3. Oh, already there. Okay. Right. So what it's going to do? It's going to Okay, it adds a server action to the queue. So what is the order this will run? What is the order? First, step 1, then step 3, then step 2. So this order of execution, you got me? But when you write your Apex call, you have to write in this order. The callback function should run next to the call Apex method, but the order what it's going to run in this order. First, you are going to call the Apex method, isn't it? It's a call statement. It's not a submission statement. It's a call statement, calling the Apex method. But next, you are going to submit to the queue, right? So once this whatever the method you push to the queue is done, then your step 3 will run. Are you clear? Right? Once this goes to the queue, and once it's got the resource and the server side operation is done, then step 3, step 2 will run. Got me? So this order of execution, but you have to define in this order when you write your Apex call. Are you clear? Everyone is clear? Everyone is clear? Okay, right. I hope everyone is clear here. Yes, good. So let's get into the demo. I'll upload this for your reference. Okay, so where we'll start? First, you have to write the Apex class, right? So let's start write some Apex class. It should be a static method. So what is the rule? It should be ARA enabled. Okay, I just have a very simple uh, class component. Right, so this is my component, and the first step, right? And then, so from here, I'm going to call uh, Apex method. So Apex method, you cannot call directly from your UI, isn't it? You have to call the controller method first. So when you're going to call based on some event, right? So I say lightning button, Okay, I'm going to call some method. So I just go to the controller, client side controller, and I say like here as call me, for example, and then c dot call me. Okay, so this is done. From here the call will go to the JS. From JS you need to call. You have to follow this step, isn't it? So I go here and step one. Okay, call apex method. We are going to call component dot. Remember, this is a variable. Okay, suppose I make it as comp. Then you have to go here, comp. So that variable you can change, any name you can give, right? So comp get and c dot apex method name. Don't give open and close bracket, just method name. And I take that reference into, it's going to return a properties. Okay, it's a JS call. You can get all the properties here. Right. So step two, callback function. Right. What needs to be performed? Callback function is something but okay. So we are going to do, we are going to say action dot whatever variable you given, whatever variable you given, any name, right? Action dot set callback. So this is a call and which has two parameter. Current instance, we name it as function, sorry, this and function call. Okay, and this function has an argument. So you name it anything. I name it as response. And then what are the other important things? I told you I will explain here. So maybe I'll explain right after this. So this is a functional call you will do. And step three is push the apex call to the queue, right? So this, how will you do it? $a dot enqueue action. So which action are you going to push? Action. That's it, right? So step one will first run, then this will run. Then once the server operation is done, this will be performed. Okay, right. So here is there are yeah, the response. Okay, response. What are the things you will get in this response? What are the things you'll get in the response? The response will have, we can return the state of the action. What is the state of the action? Okay, so if I this is a call, and what is going to return? Is going to return method get state. You can perform a method called get state on the response. So I would say like a response dot get state. So this is going to return if the call is successful, if the operation is server operation is successfully performed, then it's going to return success. right? It's going to return success. If it is not, then it's going to return error. So like that, we have different status we have. We can check if it is success, then perform this. Got me? If it is success, then get the whatever the value returned by the server. What are the value returned by the server? So first, I'm going to check this response dot get state. Okay, and I'm just going to store this in a variable like this. You can also directly use this, or else you can store it in a variable. Then I would say if state, okay, then I would say if state equal, so what I said, success, right? Success, error, and we have other different variables also. So I say success, then what I'm going to perform. If the call is successful, then I'm going to get this value, right? So we are going to get this value. There is a method called get return value. Got me? So you have to go with the same case, the method. Okay, get return value. So I just put it in a console log and see whether we are able to get the response. Everyone is clear here? Everyone is clear here? I'm going to check whether we get the response, isn't it? So step one, submit to the queue, and once the server operation is done, this part will run. Okay, so I'm checking here whether this call is successful, operation is successful, successfully completed, then you perform this. So how to get the return value? If you have your Apex method returning something, then how do you get that response dot get return value? Able to follow this? So shall I implement this? Everyone is clear here? I believe I made it simple. Able to follow this? Okay. Yeah. Okay then. Okay, so let's go to the sorry, 1 minute. It's always some look and feel always be good, right? Having okay, let me add some. We know there is a common SLDS class called box, just to put a box. Okay, so I got here. I go to console and call Apex. Got it? We got the name, right? We got the name. And this, no, this is how you will see the properties, but you can read, expand this property. You can read the properties from here with a different approach. But this is, we got the action and return value. Got me? You're able to get the return value here. Refresh. So I go to the console to check. You can clear the console here and then got it. Okay, wait. Let me copy this example. Okay, we are going to enhance this example now. Right, how we are going to enhance this now? Right, here, whatever the value I get, right, I need to assign to in a variable and display in the UI. Got me? So whatever the variable you got, I'm going to assign this in a variable and display it. So the attribute here. Okay. Right. So I got the variable now. Now tell me how to assign whatever the value you got here, right? How to assign to this variable result? How to assign here? Yes. How to assign this value to this variable? Set method, isn't it? So comp dot set. So we are going to refer the attributes v dot, right? V dot result, comma, the whole thing, isn't it? Either you can store this into another variable again, then you have to give here rest like this. Okay, and if a method is failed, then I would say like a console dot log, just display in console log. If any some reason method call failed, then you will display this. Right now, how you are going to display this in another? For example, I'm going to display in another block. Okay, I say like v dot result. Okay, let's apply some quick CSS style here. Suppose I like to apply a border. I name the class as a box. Okay, then I say border px and right the color and sorry, the color and the style of type of style of that border, right? Solid and red. Okay, we have different other parameters. Okay, just I go with a very simple one, and I would say like class equal to box. Okay. Okay, say apex. Okay, follow this, all of you. Follow this. How to make this box width is lesser than what you are seeing now. Right, so maybe work on this later. I'll just move on. I also copy this for your reference. Okay, then we'll see how to get the account record. We'll write a class to get the account record and display it. Okay, we have seen how to get just an primitive variable, right? How to get the account variable, and from account variable, how to get um, the variables like any particular field from the account object. Let's see. Class. See, this time I would like to get some value from. We know how to call a method, right? So we are going to call a method with a parameter now. Okay, we're going to call a method with parameter, and so here I say select, and I get account name, account where industry equal to domain account. Okay, I'm going to return a string, right? So what I'm going to return? I'm going to return a dot name, right? So if it is not successful for some reason, then I'm going to return that message. Okay, right? So return, right? So this is my class, and what is missing here? Okay, Rajesh, no problem. So how to expose this method? Yes, it should be ARA enabled, and the other rule already met, static. Okay, right? And I would say, um, okay, need to get the input, right? Get the industry. So from user, you need to get the input domain name. The domain name you are going to get from the user. So how to get the input from the user? How to get lightning input, isn't it? Lightning input. So lightning input. Okay. So let's write everything in a lightning card. I'm going to write everything in a lightning card. Okay. And Of course, you'll have a title. I hope everyone is clear all this, right? Everyone aware of all these things. Okay, and then I say uh, RR set. So what I'm going to set here, action, actions, right? And then lightning button. Object. Right. So here I'm going to call the client side controller method. I say submit, for example. Then I say c dot submit. Okay. And we need to get the input, right? So input, enter industry. Okay. That I'm going to get into an attribute. So because we need to pass value, right? Then we need a variable, isn't it? Industry value and then type equal to string. Okay, this one we are going to refer value v dot index value. Okay, v dot index value. So right now in your Apex controller, so what are things you need to write now? So first you take the reference, call the method Apex method c dot get account name. Okay, you get the reference, and before we push it to the queue, we are going to set the parameter, isn't it? Before you push it to the queue, we are going to set the parameter domain name. Okay, how to get the domain name? Component. How to refer the variable from your component dot get v dot v dot, what is the variable name given? V dot index value, right? V dot index value, and say I say like my industry or something, or else int, something like this. Okay, so now this is a parameter I need to pass to the controller, isn't it? So we are going to pass a parameter. Set the apex parameter. You know, in a JSON, setting any parameter is like a property, isn't it? It's like a property. Name, value. So to what is the value here? Value is nothing but int, right? So what is the name here? Name is nothing but your apex variable called domain. Domain is the name. We already taken the reference here, right? ABS is the reference. So we are going to set the parameter to the apex method. Set the parameter to the apex method. We got the reference here, right? So ABC dot, okay, ABC dot. So what is the method we are going to use? The method is called set param. Set params or param. Set params is a method, and within which, isn't it, name, value. So that's how you are going to set the parameter for your apex method. Got me? You got the reference here, right? Method reference. Then what I'm going to do, abc dot set param. Okay, that's the call, method call. And what is the name? Name is nothing but domain. And what is the value? Int. Are you clear here? Everyone is clear here? Everyone is clear here? Then your then your call statement, abc dot callback. Okay, you got it, all of you? If response dot get state equal success, then I would say console.log response dot get return value, right? Else what is more important? You have to push to the queue, right? What do you have to give here inside? Yeah, what I have to give inside the function? Which variable? I'm asking you only. I'm audible. I'm asking, I'm audible. There is one thing we need to give here. It should be limit 1, right? So we can check here. Suppose if I say energy, then what is the account I got? United Oil Gas Corporation, right? So this is a one I need to get. If I give us energy and get account, correct? It's working. So can you do this example? Get input from user. Okay, get input like account name, account phone number, or industry, account rating. Get this value. Right, and you would have buttons like save, cancel. The two buttons at the right side of your lightning card include go with a card, okay, and of course you have a title with icon here. Your account title. Okay, and once and what you're going to do, you're going to, when you click on save, the record must be inserted. Okay, the record must be inserted. So the record must be inserted into the database. And return the uh, account ID. Once you insert, you get the account ID, right? So that account ID must be inserted. So here you would say, once account inserted, account successfully. ID is you have to get the display the record ID, and this block should only display on click of save button. This result should be rendered only when I'm successful insertion. Okay, so you should not display this. How will you achieve this? How will you achieve this? We have RA if, right? RA if is true equal to flag v dot flag or whatever variable you are going to give here. So that variable you are going to refer here so that you can display this based on a condition. Conditional you can display this. Can I do this? All of you. RA is not rendering for you. You need to share your screen. Can you share your screen quickly? That day I think you. No. If you share your screen, I will help you quickly now. Are you ready? Are you ready now? Or I'll just send your code in the chat window. Send your code in the chat window. Can I do it now? I'll help you. Your detailed notes here, okay? Go through it and see, this is also possible here. What is this? I have one class extending another class. Manu, you know extension, right? One class can extend another class. So that format concept is also available here. One Apex call can extend another Apex class. Okay. Suppose this is a class. This is a demo class. One app in component. You'll see controller and oh sorry, this is a class extending. Sorry, here component. I have one component using this demo class. I have another component. Going to extend this component. So extends. You know, extend attribute is there in the component, right? In the beginning, we have seen the attributes. Extends C:1. We'll see an example later. Just a quick, overview. And how to call Apex method. So this is what I will explain. In the paint diagram. I just given in the notes here. These are the example we have seen now. Okay, example one. And steps are explained here itself, and you also refer the paintbrush diagram, right? And example two, call apex method. With the parameter. Okay, so this is what you have seen now. Right. So this is a code sent by Madhuri. Madhuri, you send it will you cannot send more lines of code, so it will be truncated automatically. Okay, you can, if you want, you can give me the rest of the code, or else you already sent. Okay, okay, okay. This is how you call, right? So if you see here, you get the username, password, and you say login success, and the v dot login success, a boolean variable, right? Okay, and you come here and set the boolean variable as v dot is success true. Okay, so what is the right? This one you're expecting, right? And the password. Working, right? Maybe it's because of this. Have you changed this and tried? Yeah. I think I messaged you, right? I messaged you. It should be small. I don't know. I remember. It should be small. Okay. And other than that, it's everything is fine. So don't try to have a habit of referring the CSS class. Um, okay. Try to have a reference the CSS class. Oh, sorry, it's border radius. Huh? Okay. Okay, then everyone is good here. Maybe I'll give this example in the notepad. Okay, I'll give this example notepad and you can refer.
This conference will now be recorded.